The only other thing I could do is like to mute myself unless I talk. Shall I do that?
No.
No?
Have you got headphones? Could you do headphones?
I don't know if I've got any that go in this phone. I've only got like old style headphones. Unless I could maybe ask Nads to bring in my AirPods.
No, all right. We'll just
Okay.
clap on.
I don't know if you can locate my laptop bag there and see if my AirPods are in there. Look, it's Gatsby.
Hi, Casper. And also Nadia.
Hi, podcast, and hi, Luke.
Hi.
Let me just see if I've got my AirPods in
That's
here.
Nadia making her podcast debut. How exciting.
Yeah. Making your podcast debut.
Don't let her on again.
One sec. I'm just trying to dig out my AirPods.
Oh, my God.
Well, the answer to that question is no. So God knows where they might be living.
Well, let's just crack on then. Hi, and welcome to You're Not Allowed to Say the S Word, a Heartstopper Cross Young Royals podcast. I'm the host, Luke, and I'm joined by the yellow and blue crew, which today, via the wonders of the World Wide Web, on a Teams call. So apologies for any dodgy sound quality for the next few weeks, sorry. We have got cousin Ellie. We're on a Teams call because Ellie has had a reputation in our family for quite a few years for having really hairy toes, and she's had a surgical procedure to have the hair physically removed, like grafted out of the top of her feet. Wild.
Lies. Those disgusting lies.
Have you or have you not had surgery on your feet?
I have had surgery on my foot, but
There you
there's
go, say no more.
nothing to do with any hair removal. Thank you very much. Although the truth is not much better.
I don't know. How did it go though? Did it go successfully?
So in the report they sent me, it said uneventful, which I think is medical terminology for went okay as expected.
That's like a really depressing way to put it. It's like when I got diagnosed with Gilbert syndrome and I was told medically insignificant. And I'm like, I think I'm very significant actually. Rude.
Yeah, I found that quite rude too. Yeah, I think it went okay. I'm basically recovering at home, but I have to have my foot elevated above the level of my heart for 90% of the day for the first 2 weeks. My toes, so I've got a massive like bandage and boot on, and I can only see like 3 of my like smaller toes, and currently they look like Shrek feet. They're like a weird bluey green, bruised, like super swollen. Ugh, gross. Other than being super frustrated by the lack of mobility and inability to drive, I'm okay. In a lot of pain, but I'm okay.
Well, that's good to hear, I guess.
I haven't actually left the house since Wednesday. Barely moved from the bed or the sofa. So I haven't got really anything particularly exciting to tell you.
Oh, great. I went back to school today after a week's half term, and the big event of today was an axolotl funeral.
Oh, I love an axolotl, but why did the axolotl die?
I don't know. Why did the axolotl die? Sounds like a terrible joke.
What happened, and was it a real axolotl?
Yeah, so we had 2 axolotls at school, and I came in this morning, and I went into, so at my school we've got some cabins, and the year 6 class and the year 4-5 class are both in a cabin. So I went in there, I went in to put my head in, see the year 6 class teacher. But as I walked in, I was like, oh my God, it smells terrible in here. Whoa, what is this smell? And I put my head in the 4-5 classroom where we've got a student teacher, and she was like, I know, it's really bad, isn't it? We'd had a thing a little while ago where someone had spilt a yogurt on the carpet and it had gone rancid, and we were like, oh my God, it's that again. But as I was going out, I saw the axolotl tank, and I was like, this axolotl tank doesn't look right. It's not filtering, it's not flowing water, it's not filtering, it's gone all stagnant and horrible and still. Oh my goodness, I think maybe it's something to do with this, but I don't really know anything about the axolotls, and the student teacher doesn't really really either. And then the actual teacher came in and discovered that one of the two axolotls had sadly passed.
Oh, that's so sad.
Which meant the other axolotl was just busy living in stinky, stagnant, dead axolotl water. Yeah, and it's been a whole thing.
I hope the other one will be okay.
I hope so too. The kids held a funeral in the afternoon. We buried him behind the cabin. We had a discussion at lunchtime about what sort of songs we might need to play at the funeral. And then in the end, the kids chose, and they played some really profound classical music, which sounds like something from Schindler's List. And then also the last post, as a couple of them saluted as he was buried into the ground. And then one of the kids had a spud gun, so they fired a couple of ceremonial shots with the spud gun.
I really couldn't laugh, but that is
I sadly couldn't attend the axolotl funeral, which is good, because if I did, I would have just been in absolute stitches. Which is it sounds awful, but I just would have been laughing. But they took it very seriously. They processed him across the across the playground. It was a whole thing. So yeah, that was today.
Oh, did he have a name?
Sammy, I think.
Oh, rest in peace, Sammy.
He wasn't buried very deep, so he might not rest in peace. He might be got by a fox.
Probably, yeah.
Quite grim. So that was that. Also, I've been alerted to a big error on my part that I need to apologise for. So when we were talking, you weren't here, but when we did our Queer Talk romance episode, and we were talking about romance that's not been written by gay men, but that is romance between gay men, we referenced lots of different examples, and one of them was Red, White and Royal Blue. Now, I'll be honest, I've not seen the film, I've not read the book, I don't really know much about it. I had read an article, or maybe a couple of articles, that referred to the author Casey McQuiston. I had referred to Casey McQuiston as a straight cis female, and I've been corrected. That was wrong. I should have done better research, because I now know that Casey McQuiston does not identify as female, but identifies as non-binary and queer. So I apologise for misgendering and misidentifying Casey McQuiston. They are a queer individual, not a straight woman. But the point still stands about it being a male-loving male romance story that's not written by a gay male, but it's also not written by a straight female. So apologies to anyone that was upset by that. Genuine mistake on my part. We will try to be better in future. I'll try to do more research, but I'm very busy and sometimes things slip through the cracks, so sorry about that.
You should be.
Yeah, well, you can shut up.
Oh, do you know what was cute though? My neighbour, like the old man who lives opposite me, cut some roses from his garden and brought them round. How adorable is that?
Oh, that's very nice. The one who gets sex toys delivered to his house.
Yeah, Paul.
Oh,
yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul and Pauline.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad that's all he brought round this time. Anyway, let's get into what we're here to get into, which is the second half of episode 3 of season 3 of Young Royals. What has happened so far, I hear you crying? Well, we know that the Queen is struggling, and that's giving Villa a little bit of concern. We know that Simmer is continuing to receive a lot of negative comments online, which is really getting to him. We know that August has been having a bit of a heart-to-heart with Boris, which is quite interesting. We know that there's a lot of tension still around the school as they were prepping for the inspectors, and then the inspectors arrived and then they inspected. They interviewed Felice. She had a good little one-to-one with her dad about stuff. We know that Sarah is still living at her dad's and kind of having some bonding moments, which are quite nice. And we left it as August turned up there out of the blue and then was quite royally, pun intended, snubbed by Sarah. And that's where we were. So let's pick it up from there. The song Noche de SATEO by TAICHU starts playing. And we go back to Hilliska, where they are indeed actually getting in some baking fun. So they've been allowed to have a Valborg party, no alcohol. So they're like, oh, we'll do some baking. And we're like, no, they are actually baking. They're having baking fun. They're in the kitchen at Manor House, I think. Vilmon and the girls, actually baking.
And to be fair, that does look like my kind of fun.
It does look like your kind of fun, sure. And I don't doubt that it is fun, but it's just not the most rock and roll party type stuff for 17-year-old kids, is it?
Very true.
Are you messaging someone on your phone whilst also Zooming with me?
No, I wasn't messaging someone. I was reading it.
Sure.
Didn't reply to it. I was clicking a notification and it accidentally opened.
Sure.
I could do with a cinnamon bun right now, though, to be honest.
Oh, I'd love a cinnamon bun, he says, having just very noisily eaten a Whisper Gold.
Oh, Whisper Gold. I've never had a Whisper Gold. I saw in the petrol station the other day that there's a new hazelnut Twix out in a green packet.
I'm a huge fan of Twixes.
Oh, I love a Twix.
Okay. They're the sort of things where I'm like, I'm not a huge fan of them. And then actually when I eat them, I'm like, well, I like this more than I think I did.
Twix dipped in tea. You have to have it with a cup of tea and dip it in tea.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, you do. So I need to try this hazelnut one. It's on my list of things to do.
You do that. Anyway, they're baking. I was like, I hope Frederica isn't going to continue to use that spoon after she stuck it like fully into her mouth. But yes, they do look like they're having legit fun. And they're taking pictures and then Sarah is scrolling Insta and she sees the Hiliska post, including one of Maddie and Felice baking, and she feels some kind of way about it. Sorry, you upset because you ruined your own life. Yeah, sounds like it. We then go to Simma, who's at home also feeling some kind of way because he's also ruined his own life. His phone's blowing up with all kinds of comments. There's some nice moody lighting, but I don't know if I'm just so cynical and bitter these days, but I do find it tricky to feel fully sympathetic for either of them because they're both just living the consequences of their own choices, really.
I do feel sorry for Simma because it's not nice being victim of that kind of like trolling. I know he is not helping himself by continuing to scroll through the comments and reply to comments, but I do feel sorry for him because he doesn't deserve that. But I don't feel massively sorry for Sarah because, she brought that on herself.
And we're back at Mika's. Sarah and him are in the kitchen. They're not baking, though. That's not happening here. He's trying to probe about August, and he's also trying to probe about why Sarah can't go back to Hiliska. And she's just quite vague about the fact that, she did something wrong. I'm not sure why she doesn't tell him. I guess because she feels like she doesn't really owe him anything.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I imagine that with Asperger's syndrome, she's probably not like a super oversharing kind of person and probably would prefer to keep things to herself a little bit more, perhaps. But also, she doesn't have a really open communication type relationship with her dad. So you can understand why she wouldn't want to talk to him about anything kind of emotional.
No, but there's a bit of me that's like, if you're going to turn up at his house and say you're going to live there, you kind of owe him a bit of an explanation why.
Yeah, agreed.
But no, she's just like, I did something wrong. And he's like, well, my area of expertise. And also the anxiety that follows is my area of expertise. He then talks about his guilt and his shame at letting the kids down after the divorce. And so that just sort of led him to give up. She's like, well, no, you didn't see us because I chose not to see you. But I like the fact that he's honest and responsible enough, I guess, to say, no, I'm your dad and I should have fought for you. It was my responsibility. I didn't fight for you. And then talks about the fact that he went down a bit of a rabbit hole with his ADHD meds and alcohol and not being able to take their disappointment. And this doesn't negate anything he's done, doesn't excuse it, doesn't pardon it, but I do at least think it's very positive and very important that he is being honest and owning up to and being responsible for it.
Yeah, I thought it was a very healthy conversation and like healing, not just for Sarah to hear, but also for him to say that, I think, as well.
I'd be really interested to hear Indigo's take on this because I think our personal experiences have led us to have quite different views on how something like this plays out and might be taken. And no one's necessarily right or wrong on that. But I'd be interested to hear their take on this. I think they might feel a bit differently. But for me, I look at it and I'm like, this feels like maybe a good place to start building a relationship from, because I would always encourage trying to build and repair relationships where you can, especially with your parents. Having lost a parent myself that I did have a really good relationship with, I understand why people don't have relationships or can't have relationships with their parents, but I also always feel sad. And I'm like, oh, I wish there were a way that could be repaired. Sometimes it absolutely can't be, but
a little bit
sometimes
like
it can.
what August said, where, you know, like his dad was also a mess, but better to have a dad that has bad periods than to not have a dad at all, sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I would agree with you. I would always try to repair things where possible and give people second chances. But I think even more so in this situation, because not that, you know, the behaviour is completely inexcusable, but when there's a mental health reason behind the father's behaviour, in that he was struggling with addiction and things like that, it's not always just black and white and that simple. And he obviously required a lot of support and time and stuff to get himself in a situation where he can make amends for those mistakes. So hopefully now would be that place to start.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll have to see what happens. Sarah starts to worry that because she's so similar to him, that she might be vulnerable to the same things, I guess, that the same thing might happen to her. She might take that similar journey to him. And he says this, I think, quite important and profound line. You may have inherited my diagnosis, Sarah, but you're not me. And I liked that. Again, I think that showed real maturity and responsibility and wisdom. Like, it was just good dadding, I thought.
Yeah, agreed, 100%.
And he also thinks that they feel guilt and shame stronger than others because of their diagnosis, because of the way that their brains are wired. And I can relate to that. I think I feel it more strongly than a lot of people. I think it's all tied in with that neurodiverse part of the brain that also, for example, feels RSD, which is rejection sensitivity dysphoria, quite hard, and things like that. I'm like, oh, yeah, I really struggle with those things. But it's like you can't let those emotions rule your life. And that's also true.
Yeah, wise words.
We then go back to Hilushka. The choir is singing on the steps and everyone's in their formal uniforms, so there must be some kind of event happening. August is just in love with his cap and admiring it and being a bit obsessed with it. And then while they're singing, because Villa is now in the choir, and while they're singing, he keeps sort of looking at Simma. Could you figure out what those looks were about? I couldn't read them at all.
I just thought that he was feeling a little bit awkward and embarrassed singing in front of people, so was kind of like, I don't know, just awkwardly kind of like looking to a friend. Either that, or he could have been just, because we know that he likes to stare and watch Simon when he's singing, so maybe he's just admiring.
Yeah, but they didn't look that admiring, the looks. That's why I was a bit baffled, but yeah, maybe. Vanessa, who is the acting principal, delivers a short speech which helps us all to learn that this is Valborg. And then the third years get to put their caps on to show that they're ready to graduate, and that's very exciting for them all. They all look very chuffed, and then they all turn into Vikings and like some massive structure and go pillaging. They don't go pillaging, but yeah, I was like, who's risk assessed that giant flaming structure? I couldn't do that at my school.
No, absolutely not.
They like
I'm thinking as well, they've managed to like shake off those inspectors very easily, haven't they? Like, are they not still going to be on high alert and like best behaviour and avoid any other potential scandals or health and safety issues? But no, they're just going to create massive fire.
They just love some fire at this school, though, because remember back when Sarah wore that crown of candles? Can't remember what that was for now.
Yeah.
It was like around...
What's it called?
It was around Christmas time.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was called.
Me.
They all wore white. We then go to a different part of Hilushka, and what's this old Volvo pulling up at Hilushka? Oh, I think I recognise that old Volvo that's pulling up at Hilushka. Oh, yes, I do. It's Sarah and Mika, and she's looking very apprehensive. He gives her a good old pep talk and tells her to call him whenever she wants, and he will just come and pick her up. Then we go back to the celebrations. Someone New by Apotech starts playing. Vilmont are together. Vilas confesses that he didn't know it'd be that horrible to sing in front of everyone, and he doesn't get how Simma does it. But Simma's like, well, I kind of feel that way about the speeches that you have to give. And Villa points out that Simma actually enjoys the singing, whereas like he doesn't enjoy the speech, he just has to do them. And also that with the singing, Simma's just very comfortable being open and vulnerable doing it, which again, Villa isn't. Although he was very open and vulnerable when he gave his speech at the end of season 2, I suppose.
Yeah,
wasn't he?
that's exactly what I was thinking. He couldn't have been more open and vulnerable in that speech, to be fair. Oh, Lucia. Is it Lucia?
Lucia, yes, well remembered / researched.
No, I didn't actually research that.
There's no way to prove this.
No, there isn't.
Is
That's
there?
true.
You have to take your word for it, and after the lines you told about what you had done to your feet.
I'll send you before and after photos of my feet as proof.
No, thank you. Simmer says he's been finding it more difficult and less fun recently, and that somehow leads Villa to having a cracking idea that maybe they should find somewhere to be alone before Simmer has to get the bus home. Okay, we all know where this is going, teenage boys. Good grief. The song Dream by Seinabo Sey, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, plays. A lovely song, this one. We see Sarah at the top of the steps. First, she spots August. August spots her, and he looks genuinely pleased to see her. Almost, dare I say, adorable.
Yeah,
as he gives her a little wave.
He did look adorable. Yeah, I'm like, oh God, it's hard to be angry at him when he looks adorable like that.
If he wasn't him and hadn't done all the things he'd done, I would have gone, oh, cute. But then I'm like, no, never. Then the girls spot her. Felice, Frederica, Stella and Maddie, they're all together. They spot her and they all look less impressed. Felice looked kind of shell-shocked. Then she sees Simmer going off with Villa and he spots her and then kind of nopes her and she's just left feeling all sad.
I felt so bad for her. Like, I know that she's done wrong and that she has brought this on herself, but she's clearly punishing herself and feeling awful and regrets everything she did and has recognised her mistake. And I just feel like, come on, give the girl a bit of forgiveness now. She's suffered enough. There's no need to like completely ghost her and nope her. It was just the fact it was like multiple people, just one after the other, all at the same time. I felt bad.
Well, she noped August. The girls didn't nope her, but they also didn't go to her. They just were like, wow, she's here. It was only Simon, really, that noped her. And I think she has to go and make it up to him. She hasn't really done anything to try and make it up to him at this point.
Yeah, that's fair, to be honest. She's kind of just avoided the topic and isolated herself. Right? She does need to step up and try and make amends herself.
She's left feeling a bit sad, so she calls someone. It's Mika, but she just gets his voicemail. And then a teacher approaches. Now, she's pleased to see her, so that's something.
Did you have the same initial thought as me as soon as the phone went to voicemail, which was, has he literally like dropped her off and gone straight to the pub?
I didn't really think about it, to be honest with you.
See, that's where my brain went. But I was hoping like and praying like, oh no, like hopefully he hasn't. But it was in my mind that that's a possibility. I was like, why isn't he answering his phone?
Yeah, I understand. We then go and join the girls. They're having a little gossip about it. Stella can't believe that Sarah has the guts to show her face around here. Felice, it seems a little more conflicted by the whole thing. Then we go into the hallowed halls of Hillisker where Vilmon are getting frisky all over the whole place. Just wait until you get in the room, guys.
I know, they didn't
Good
even...
grief. Have you not learned anything from past experiences? And also, where is security?
Surely they'd have like CCTV throughout like the main kind of open areas of the school. I don't know, like, well, if not, there's still a massive risk. Why not just get into the bedroom and close the door? The bedroom is right there. You're literally in the corridor outside the bedroom. Just go in the bedroom and shut the door and shut the curtains up at the window whilst you're at it. Have you learnt nothing?
Clearly not. They just take every opportunity all over the place. And it gets very heated rivalry, quite frankly. There's also some like passionate I love yous, which is nice, but mostly it's just quite heated rivalry. And I'm like, oh,
it's a bit much.
Look, it is, because again, the character's like 16 and it's, I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be different if they were like way into their 20s, I think, but it's
yeah, they're young. I don't need to know what roles they take in the situation, but do you know what I mean? It's
information.
Yeah, when we compare it with the Heartstopper, that was also, you know, still quite full on, but that gave us just enough information to know what was going on. This, I felt, gave us a bit too much. This is like adult, passionate, sexy sex scene rather than like the Heartstopper teenage discovery, things are implied kind of sex scene.
Yeah.
Which is what I would rather in this type of program, if I'm honest. This was borderline elite stuff.
Yeah, and I struggled with that with Elite.
Yeah, I mean that's full on. We go back to Sarah, who's returning home to Mika's to find him passed out on the sofa, and her mind is clearly in the same place as yours because she's sniffing his drink, she's checking his stuff. He wakes up as she's doing that, and he's like, "I just fell asleep. I was exhausted. My phone was on silent." She asks if he's been drinking, and he denies it.
Did we believe him?
I think I did.
I want to believe him. I would assume that if she's smelt his drink and examined in his bag and found no evidence, then we must assume innocence.
I feel like he's turned a corner. He asks her how it went. She says it wasn't nice, but she survived it and she's going back on Monday. So there's progress for her, I guess.
Absolutely. I thought when she went straight home that she wouldn't bother going back personally, but good on her.
Yeah, I admire the courage and resolve it takes. We're back with Vilmon, who are bathing in the afterglow of what they've done. Simmer confesses that he felt a bit blank about seeing Sarah, which is interesting. He gave the impression that he felt a little bit more strongly about it, I thought, when he snubbed her, but perhaps not. And Villa gives her credit for at least reporting August. Again, I just see him growing more mature with his responses to things this season, and I like it.
Yeah, same.
Simmer starts wondering how you can have the same genes and childhood as someone else and yet be so different and have totally different perspectives to them. Which I guess is an age-old question. I mean, I don't think my sister and I are wildly different, but there are certainly some aspects of us, and especially historically, there have been aspects of us where I'm like, God, how are we so different when we've grown up in the same household and had very similar youth? It's interesting, isn't it?
It is really interesting.
Do you view yourself as very different from your siblings?
I think we're very similar in a lot of ways, in certain ways, but then we do have some clear differences. But I think we're more similar than we are different. But, you know, that being said, I do know of other pairs of siblings that are just wildly different.
Do you think my sister and I are similar?
I think you're similar, but I do think you're quite different as well. You have similarities, but I think you've got more differences than, say, like me and Katie have.
Yeah. I think we were quite different, but over the past few years where she's started stealing my viewpoints on things.
Becoming more liberal.
Yeah. Usurping my character. That's not the right phrase. She's been copying me, basically, hasn't she? Let's be honest. She's been copying me, but I do it better, so.
Meat eating.
Oh, I mean, I'm not going vegan, no. I'm not going vegan. Villa asks if he'll ever be able to forgive her, and Simmer asks, well, would you? And Villa says, well, Eric would never have done that to me. He was the one who protected and took care of me. Sure, but that's not what Simmer asked. He didn't ask about whether this would happen between him and Eric. He asked if Villa would be able to forgive his sibling if he were in Simmer's situation. I mean, I know what he was saying, but answer the question. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because all Villa did there was just highlight to Simmer how crappy his sister's been, make him feel worse about it.
Simmer feels that he's the one who's always protected and taken care of Sarah, and still she did this to him. I mean, look, in her defence, she was doing it as an act of protection and care.
Why I definitely feel sorry for her, because I don't think she meant to cause the hurt that she did. Her actions were just misguided.
Yes, but then also, if she had really wanted to protect and care for Simmer, then she would have dealt with it straight away.
Yeah, about August from the beginning, as soon as she found out.
Not got entangled in a web of lies.
Blinded by love and lust.
Oh, God. Classic behaviour.
Teenage hormones for you.
But yes, so Simma feels upset that even through all that, she still did that to him. And the fact that she could do that means that anybody could do that. So how can he ever trust anyone? And Villa's like, well, you can trust me. And Simma doesn't look entirely convinced, I thought. I feel like he can trust Villa.
I feel like he can, but I also understand that for some people, trust is a difficult thing to navigate and a difficult thing to fully believe in.
Yes. I just worry that, and this is a story, this is quite indicative, I think, of a big societal issue, is that Simma can't see any criticism, constructive criticism, feedback, advice, can't see any of that without viewing it as some kind of personal attack. And so I feel like when he's saying, or when he's maybe not entirely convinced about Villa, it's coming from a place where Villa is just telling him that he can't or shouldn't do certain things because it's in his best interest not to, or because the world works in a certain way. And all he sees that is personal attack, and therefore, oh, I can't trust you because you're being nasty to me. Where it's like, no, he's not being nasty to you. He's being honest, and he's trying to be constructive and helpful and supportive. You've
and
just
realistic.
you've just got to look at it for what it is. But yeah, I find that increasingly an issue with people, adults and young people, who can't take anything as anything other than personal attack. It's
Or
like
criticism.
Yeah, it's like, this is going to be a controversial hot take, and I don't know if maybe I need to cut this out because it might become a bit political. But it's like those people who want to hang St George's crosses on lampposts. And when they get told, but you can't, then they get cross and it's a personal attack on them. Even when people say, well, no, you can't because nobody's allowed to, because there is a blanket rule for everybody and it's just a law, they go, but that's a personal attack on me. No, it's not a personal attack on you. That is a law for everybody. And you've just got to look at it from everybody's point of view. It's not just a personal attack on you. Or they then do that and get told, do you know that in doing that, you are presenting a perspective that might appear disrespectful or offensive or unkind to some people? And then they get offended when it's like, no one's saying you can't do it. Sometimes it's saying you can't do it, but this isn't a personal attack on you. You can do it if you want to, but you're doing it on the proviso that this is how people will view and respond to you. Oh, well, that's not fair. That's a personal attack on me. No, it's not a personal attack on you. That's just the way it is. Doing that presents this, which means people will think this about you. That's not like a calculated personal attack on you. That's just a consequence of your actions because of the way that the world is. And it's a bit like that with Simma. Oh, it's a personal attack. I put my music up. But no one is saying don't put your music up. But if people are going to respond in a certain way and we tell you taking it down might help, that's not a personal attack. That's just some advice. Or maybe people are telling you not to put it up, but they're telling you that because there's a certain rule and expectation, and it's not just for you, it's for everybody in that situation. Like Villa has to conform to it. Yeah, he just
picture when you're part of the royal family.
He just can't quite see that bigger picture, and then he's like, oh, I can't trust anyone. It's like, but actually the people that are being honest and telling you maybe don't do that are actually being very trustworthy, but you see that as
interests. Yeah,
but somehow he sees that as untrustworthy because he takes it as a personal attack rather than actually trying to help and support. I see it a lot and I find it frustrating. Another song, Show It Off by Universal Production Music. So this is the music that I think is just created to use on TV shows and films, but it's still quite good music. And there's a montage of the contrast between the Hillerska kids chilling on May the 1st and then all of the Labour Day happenings, because it's May the 1st, where there are banners and demonstrations. We see Ayub and Ross selling raffle tickets to help support the Bjørstad Football Club. We see Simma, who's dressed like a cartoon character trying to be in disguise with his dark glasses and his hood on his purple hoodie, all the way up. No one will ever know it's me. Yeah, you stand out more by doing that, Simmer, actually.
Like something Scooby-Doo.
Right? I would have got away with it as well if it wasn't for that pesky kid. I don't know. And lo and behold, even behind that really groundbreaking disguise, he does get spotted. By some people. They're sort of looking at him and he's like, oh God, they're looking at me and they think I'm awful. Yeah, maybe they do. Doesn't mean you are. Ayub accuses him of looking like he's selling something else. And I was like, does he mean a drug dealer or does he mean a sex worker?
Drug dealer, definitely.
I think drug dealer, okay.
Yeah. He did look a bit shifty.
He looks very shifty. But I don't think he looked like a drug dealer because I think a drug dealer would be more discreet than that. Because if a policeman were to walk through there, you'd just arrest him. Because, I'm sorry, you look dodgy. You're under arrest. A woman with cute purple hair and a child, maybe her son, who's wearing a pride badge, come up to buy tickets from him. And she tells him that he's a bit of an idol in their home. And they think that he and Villa are really brave. And the kid wants a photo. And Ayub takes it. And it's really sweet and nice. And just what he needs.
Adorable.
Very adorable. Then she immediately posts it on Insta and tags him. And the picture is super cute because the kid's looking up at him like he's their actual hero. But for me, all this picture really reveals is the true horror of his outfit. Because he's wearing these, like, I don't know, sort of houndstooth pattern trousers, maybe. They looked somewhere between pyjama bottoms and formal trousers. Some big chunky boots, by the looks of it. And then his very casual, slightly faded purple hoodie. Like, the bottom half would have been stylish if he had the right level of formality in the top half, but
reminded me, you know, like when you were little and you used to play that game where you'd like concertina paper, and so somebody would draw a head and then fold it. Next person would draw the torso and then fold it, and then the next person would draw the trousers and fold it, and the next person, and then when you open it up, it's hilarious. It was literally like that.
For me, it was like when you get dressed up really nice to go to a fancy party or barbecue or something, but then it suddenly gets really cold and you're at someone's house and they're like, oh, I'll get you a hoodie. And so you've got your really nice outfit on and then you just have to put some crusty old hoodie over the top and you just look ridiculous. It looked like that. It was not a good look at all. But hey, Simmer's chuffed at the photo. There's a nice description underneath it about only love here on May the 1st. And a little pride flag emoji. And Rosh thinks it's sweet and it looks like just what he needs. But, I mean, we all knew where this was going, didn't we?
Yeah. When he accepted the tag or whatever on Instagram, I was just thinking nightmare, because somebody is going to misconstrue the situation and share it in a bad light.
Yeah, even without being able to read the signs that were behind him, you're like, this is obviously going to go horribly wrong. We go back to Hilishka. It's cell phone hour. They all rush to get... Ew. They must have called it that on the show, because I would never have called it cell phone hour. But I've written it as that, because they must have said it, and I've just read it, and I'm like, oh, it's mobile hour. They all rush to get their phones. And it immediately all hits the fan. Villa has 7 missed calls from Farima. Does she not know that she can just call Morlin, who will pass the phone on? Although Morlin's not there, apparently. So. But it's Vincent who sees it first. And then Villa sees the photo. And it has this banner in the background, which it turns out says, crush the upper class.
Oh, no.
And it's obviously not going to look good for the monarchy.
Could it any worse with the slogan?
No, but there is a bit of defence in that Simma wasn't standing with the banner.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
He could just have been walking through town.
He was literally just selling raffle tickets for their local football club. He was doing nothing that was politically charged at all, but he needed to be more sensible about accepting pictures that were taken, where those pictures were taken, and how it could potentially be misconstrued.
Yes, absolutely.
Lesson learned.
No, lesson learned, I guess. But yeah, I did that. There is a bit of me. It's like, it seems a bit harsh.
It is harsh.
Like, I could
not just issue a statement to say he was selling raffle tickets for a local football club and was not in that specific demonstration that was happening in the background. Like, surely that would be enough.
Yeah, but you know what public are like. I don't know. I guess it's rock and a hard place. I'm
Yeah.
just out here thinking, like, I could be walking through town and, like, bump into someone and they take a picture of me in town, and I could have, we've talked about them before, I think there are some really devout Christians that set up in the town centre and they sing songs and promote stuff and try to convert everyone to Christianity. I could be walking through town, have a picture, and they'd be in the background. Doesn't mean that I've suddenly become devoutly Christian and trying to promote Christianity to everyone. It just means that they were behind me. Do you know what I mean? Villa's phone rings. It's Farima. She thought he was going to talk to Simon. The picture's already caused headlines. Just when Villa needs to step up and take more responsibility, he's going to have to deal with it, or they will. Villa's like, I did try to talk to him, but maybe I should have been more forceful. Yeah, you do. You just need to be a bit blunt. He's never going to take it well because he's just not that kind of person. I've assassinated his character already. You just need to be really blunt with him. So we cut to an awkward phone call. Simmer's really happy when he picks up. He's like, oh, isn't the picture cute? We could change things for real. And Villa's like, no, you can't just post anything. And then he's about to get really blunt. And suddenly we pause because Simmer's arrived home and the police are there and a rock has been thrown through their window. And that's it. Very dramatic finish to the first half of season 3 of Young Royals. Thoughts at the halfway stage?
This was quite a tense finish. I am desperate. Obviously, I've seen it already, but I'm desperate to watch on and find out what's going to happen. I breathed a sigh of relief that it was only a rock through the window, because when I saw him walking in past like the police car, initially my thought was like, oh my God, what's happened? Has there been like a major hate crime, like unspeakable? But thankfully nobody got hurt. But yeah, it does worry me because I feel like Vilmon are finally in a good place with each other, and I worry that this situation is going to set Simon back and make him question whether or not he can be in this relationship, and that will obviously be heartbreaking for Villa. So let's see what happens.
Indeed. Okay, well, there we are. We are at the end of season 3, episode 3. We are halfway through season 3. We've got to wrap this conversation up in the usual manner. We've got best lines, moot mo's, moment of crowning glory, and a royal rating to give this episode. So let's start off with our best lines. What was your best line of this episode?
I've got a few. It's either a Boris one or a Mika one.
I bet you're going to steal my Boris one.
Have you got a Boris one as well?
I've got a Boris one as well.
So I maybe go for the Mika one, just in case you've got the same Boris one as me.
It's up to you. It's entirely up to you.
Okay, no, I'm going to go for the Boris one because I actually wanted my Mika one for the moment of crowning glory. So the Boris one was, if we start making different choices, more selfless acts, we can get to the point where we can forgive ourselves.
Oh, that's good.
Was yours different?
Mine was different, so I'm going to go with the Boris one as well. Well done, Boris. You're having a great day. My Boris line is, it can actually make you feel very, very good being nice to others and to yourself.
Wise words from Boris.
Good old Boz. Oh, why don't people call Boris's Boz? Do they call them Boz? I've never heard Boz before.
If there's a shorter nickname for Boris, the only one I know is Bojo for Boris Johnson, but we don't like it.
No. Right, on to a moot mo, a most out of touch moment.
Oh God, I've got a few. I've got to choose between the heavy petting in the music room when the inspectors are in the school. Or no, I think I'm going to go with the teacher telling Felice to tie her hair back when there were white girls with their hair down at the same time.
Oh, okay. I also had Vilmon getting frisky during the inspection, but I'm also going to pick something different. I'm going to go with August rocking up to Mika's, and particularly the way he introduces himself.
That was so cringy.
Yeah, don't introduce yourself with the word of in your name.
Oh, gross.
Moment of crowning glory then.
I'm going to go for just that open, honest conversation between Mika and Sarah, where he, was relating to Sarah about the big feelings that come with Asperger's syndrome and autism. And yeah, just kind of the explanation into his struggles and how he feels about that. I think that was a very healthy conversation.
Yeah. I'm going to go with, even though it was a bit heated rivalry, Vilmon finally getting their time together, because it's more about the bit after all of that, I guess. Just, it feels like they finally had time to just settle into and revel in their relationship and togetherness. Just be a proper kind of grown-up relationship. Whereas, I don't think they've had that. When they've tried to have that in the past, there's been other stuff going on, or it's been interrupted, or this, that, and the other. No, but this, they were just able to just be a couple.
Very true. Yeah,
And
I
it was
like
nice.
that. That was
Okay, and finally, a royal rating out of 10 for this episode.
I've gone 7.5, just because it was a good episode, but it wasn't particularly eventful until like the end was a bit of like a tense finish. But it was good, but it wasn't wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic sort of building up to the midpoint of a season episode where they're building stuff up ready to knock them down, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So for that reason, I've given it an 8 out of 10. There were lots of nice moments, lots of nice things, but like you say, it wasn't jam-packed with excitement and intrigue. So
I'm
left
left definitely wanting to find out what's going to happen next, though.
Oh, absolutely. Cool. That is that then. By the way, we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to Heartstopper Forever. How exciting. I'm going to keep saying that week on week until it actually comes around. So, yay. But
have there been any like official trailers and teasers and stuff? Yeah, I keep seeing like random bits and bobs and outtakes of old Heartstopper series and stuff like that, like in the lead up to this release, but I don't know if I've seen anything official.
I haven't seen any trailers or anything, but Netflix have been really going hard in the promotion of it. Like, it's Heartstopper Summer. They've shown pictures from the film, comparing them with pictures of the characters in similar situations in earlier season stuff. Get on Insta and look at the Netflix account. They're really going into the Heartstopper stuff at the moment. So I think that might be a big journey through Pride Month, because it's officially Pride Month. Today when we're recording is the 1st of June, so therefore it's the start of Pride Month. I know when you listen to it, it'll be weeks later, but yay. So we shall see. But yes, so that's coming. That's in a few weeks, but we're not there yet. We've got more Young Royals to talk about. So next week we will be back to talk about the first half of season 3, episode 4. If you want to join in the conversations, you know where to do that. We are on Insta at Heartstopper Podcast. We have got our Facebook group. We'll be back next week. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, and goodbye.
Don't stop, go, get it,